ANC MP KB Maphatso has laid a complaint against Chief Whip Phemi Majodina. He's angry at the announcement that the party will endorse the report against Mkhwebane. Maphatso says no such resolution has been taken by the caucus. He's written to the ANC Secretary General Ace Magashule to take disciplinary action against Majodina for misconduct. He says her announcement to support a motion brought by the DA is against the ANC's constitution. The National Assembly, of course, this afternoon from about 2 o'clock will be debating whether or not to move forward with a no confidence motion against the public protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane, following the findings by an independent panel that there's strong evidence to pursue a case of incompetence against Mkhwebane. Let's speak now to Lawson Naidu from KSEC. Mr. Naidu, good afternoon this lunchtime. Thank you very much. Very interesting position, I guess, Parliament finds itself in, because the report that they are considering in making their decision whether or not to proceed into investigating Mkhwebane's fitness to hold office or not, is very clear that there is prima facie evidence to support that she's not fit for the office.
Indeed it is, Dan, and thank you. It's also pursuant to the rules of the National Assembly, which were adopted by all parties in the National Assembly towards the end of 2019. So these rules for the removal of the head of a Chapter 9 institution are clear. They have been debated and approved by Parliament, and this is part of the process in that regard. Parliament has now received a report from an independent panel that was chaired by Justice Bessin Kabinde, which makes prima facie findings of incompetence and gross misconduct against Ms. Mkhwebane. And that's the matter that serves before the National Assembly this afternoon. It's not a motion from the DA. It is the report of that independent panel that Parliament has to consider, and consider whether to move to the next step, which is a comprehensive investigation by an ad hoc committee of Parliament to test those allegations and those prima facie findings.
Yeah, so it's not about a motion that's been tabled by anybody. It's in fact a report back to the parliamentary committee, to Parliament, by that independent panel that is going to be at stake. Although on the sidelines now we're hearing a lot of noise within the ANC ranks, and as I've just read now, some of their MPs asking for the ANC structures to take action against the chief whip.
Well, that is correct. Those are the reports that are coming out now. But what is clear is that Parliament needs to consider the report of that independent panel and make a decision on that basis. The Constitutional Court has on several occasions reminded Parliament and members of Parliament of their responsibilities in discharging their responsibilities, and that includes, being responsive and beholden to the oath of office that they've taken, an oath that is taken in terms of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. And I noticed that some ANC MPs are referring to the ANC's constitution in terms of what action they may take this afternoon. That's irrelevant. They are bound by an oath of office to the Constitution of the Republic, which binds them to do what is in the best interests of the country and the people of South Africa, which is to follow the advice of the independent panel report. Any other decision, would be a flagrant disregard of the rules of natural justice, and would hold Parliament itself in contempt.
Yeah, I mean, that independent panel, I haven't read their whole report. I mean, basically, they have found that there is that prima facie evidence showing that Mkhwebane is guilty of or committed misconduct and or is incompetent. Now, I mean, that's what's at issue here. And after then they've discussed this report from the independent panel, as Parliament, then they can make the decision about what is the best way forward. And that would lead them then to that area of a possible motion of no confidence in her fitness to hold office. We're still not there at this stage. Am I right?
That's correct. But, what is really concerning, Dan, is that, those MPs who are arguing that they will not vote in favour of the referral to an ad hoc committee are not engaging with the substance of the report of the independent panel. The prima facie findings that they have made, they've spoken in that report of, repeated misconduct and a pattern of behaviour by Ms. Mkhwebane in conducting her duties as the public protector. So this needs to be an engagement based on the substance of that report, and then taking a decision that we need as Parliament to conduct a more comprehensive investigation in which Ms. Mkhwebane will be given the opportunity to rebut those prima facie findings and other complaints against her.
Yeah, and I mean, this whole thing is playing itself out today in Parliament after the Constitutional Court, Lawson, dismissed Mkhwebane's interdict to stop the parliamentary process for an inquiry into a fitness for office. So she's lost that battle in court, and the ANC, since 1 o'clock, we saw some reports earlier, has been holding an urgent caucus meeting. One would wonder what that caucus meeting of the ANC will be discussing, whether they will be understanding the situation as you've just aptly described it.
Well, hopefully they will be briefed accordingly that this is the responsibility they now have. They cannot simply ignore and wish away the report of the independent panel. And there's, a precedent in this regard when Parliament ignored and wished away the report of the public protector into the eNCA scandal. And we know what happened as a result of that. They were taken all the way to the Constitutional Court, where the court had to tell Parliament that they acted unconstitutionally in not considering the report of the public protector. This is a very analogous situation, and there would appear to be no room for Parliament not to refer this matter for a full investigation in terms of its own rules.
We'll have to wait and see what happens after 2 o'clock this afternoon. Mr. Lawson from KSAC, thank you for your time this lunchtime.